Hello, my name's Hayden Schmidt. I'm an instructional technology specialist with Alvin Independent School District, and today we're going to take a look at some research tools for students. Specifically, we're going to look at using the Google Citation tool inside Google Docs. So let's go take a look inside Google Docs now. So I'm starting here inside a Google document that I'm just calling my Google Citations text document, and I want to demonstrate how citations are added and how they can be used in the document in a few different ways by students. So we're going to look for the citation tool under Tools, which makes pretty close sense there. And then I'm going to come down to Citations, and I'm going to select Citations. That's going to open this dialog box here to the right, where I have the ability to choose which set of citations I'm going to want to work with. So we, for the purposes of the junior high research format, are going to be using APA formatting for our citations documents. So we select APA, and then I'm ready to start adding citation sources. And for today, I'm going to add a couple of ISBN book sources. We're going to add a couple of magazine sources, and then we're going to go on to add the more likely to be used by student web resources. So add a citation source, and then I'm going to choose this as a book source, accessed by print, and I'm going to search by ISBN. The ISBN for this book is 978-1-4522-0398. And we'll search for that. And here it says the title would be World Class Learners Educating Creative and Entrepreneurial Students by Sage Productions. That is the book that I'm holding in my hands, and so I'm going to go ahead and say continue. Now, my options under the add citation source would allow me to do some modification if there were editions of the book, if it came in volumes, if I wanted to use a short title. But I'm just going to make sure I've scrolled all the way to the bottom here and say add citation source. And there is the source there on the page. The second print source I'm going to add is also going to be a book accessed by print. I'm going to punch in its ISBN number, 978-1-4129-94309. We'll do a search for that book. Unmistakable Impact, a partnership approach for dramatically improving instruction. That is, in fact, the book that I'm holding in my hand, and so I'm going to go ahead and say continue. I have no modifications to make here, so I'm going to say add citation source, and now I have both the Zowl and the Knight texts ready to go as citation. So let's take a look at adding another citation source. This is going to be a citation source that is going to be from a journal article. I'm holding an magazine in my hand, Empowered Learner, a publication of the International Society for Technology and Education. This is an old one from January 2018, but it will work for our purposes. I'm going to again refer to this as accessed by print, and I want to make sure I get my author's name here. She is listed as Jennifer Snelling. So we'll get her in there. The article is titled The Workforce of the Future. The journal title, as I mentioned earlier, is Empowered Learner. This is Empowered Learner from January of 2018. So it does not show a volume listing. I'm going to go straight with issue January 2018. I want to list the pages for the article as 15 through 21. We're going to put published month again as January of 2018. And for this form of document, these are going to be the kind of notes that students are going to need to accumulate as they go and look at a particular reference. Only really going to be required for print magazine and that kind of thing, but still going to be required to take some basic note information if they're not going to just photograph the relevant data with their phone and have access to the information that way. I am again going to say add citation source. And that gives us 2 books and a magazine. Let's go on and add a couple of web references. So I'm going to hop over to a new tab. It's going to be a Google search here. Let's do one for teen vaping rates. Okay, so here's the National Institute of Health. Okay, now for getting web resources, it's particularly easy. You can just highlight the web address, copy it, bring it back over to the citation tool. Say you'd like to add a source. This is a website. It's been accessed by website. Here's the URL. I'm going to paste it right in there, and I'm going to say search. And it has found what it needs with regards to the organization and where it came from, the URL, dates published, dates accessed. I'm going to come down here and say continue. I'm again going to go all the way to the bottom and make sure I say add citation source. And now that website citation source is also ready to go right there. Let's find one more in that same manner. So in this case, rather than saying teen vaping rates, let's say something like vaping damage in teens and see what we can find there. Quick facts about the risks of e-cigarettes seems like something that might be useful or that students might reference. We're just going to highlight that, copy it. I'm going to bring it back over. I'm going to say add citation source. I'm going to say that it is a website accessed by web. I'm going to paste that right into place. I'm going to give it an opportunity to search. It finds what it needs. Continue and add citation source. So let's take a look at using our citations in our document. I've gone and gotten some random text from a random text generator that I'm just going to paste in here. This is just in order to have some information to attach references to. You can already see Google hates the sentence structure and dislikes some of the spelling. I'm not going to worry about any of that right now. The most simple way to use our references is to just say insert references. And it will insert the references in a block, and all the student is responsible to do is get them down onto a new page, and their reference page is set. The formatting is appropriate for the format that we selected, in this case APA 7th. And in my only error here is that I misspelled empowered learner when I entered that, and it's recognizing that for me and is letting me make that correction right there. So there's one way to use those references in just a block, insert the references. The other way to use a particular reference is in a more traditional kind of reference appearance. So if I put my cursor precisely at the end of the sentence where I would like a reference to appear, and let's presume that this reference is going to be for night, and I reach up here and use the Cite button, It's going to tell me, boom, night 2011, and all it's waiting for me to put in is the page number. So I'm going to come down to the second one. Let's assume that this is a reference for, oh, my misclick, that this is a reference for quick facts. I'm going to click Cite, and it's going to drop that citation in right there, just like that. Let's bring one down here and say I want to cite Snelling on that one. And let's say in the middle of this one right there, I want to cite the teens using vaping devices. And right there at the end of that sentence, I need to cite Zhao. And so the only addition that students will need to have made, the only note that they will need to make, is exactly what page that quote came from, if it's coming from a textbook or something else that requires a page number. Otherwise, the reference is set. And there is still one more way that we can use these references if we wish, and we can set a footnote if we would like. So I want to show you that, even though it's unlikely, based on the challenges of managing footnotes, that students will opt for footnotes. But for our purposes, you would put your cursor where you would like it. You would say, I want to insert a footnote. And now you notice you've got a footnote. And then down here, you've got your reference for the footnote. So what I would want to do then is just copy and paste that particular reference. So there, my footnote 1 is linked to night 1. And if I wanted to come down and add another one just for a secondary reference here, again, I insert the cursor exactly where I want the footnote to go. I use the insert footnote option, and then all I have to do is copy and paste the appropriate reference so that footnote 2 now refers to Snelling. A very straightforward citation tool, able to be used in multiple ways, very flexible and powerful, and no longer requires any kind of third-party website in order to maintain your citations document. I hope this was useful to examine today, and that you're able to take it back to your classroom and use it with students. Thanks so much for watching.